Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I did it. It was almost against my better judgment, but I decided to watch and now review Cars 2. Is that Thor's sister, Hella? Hella, 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 hey, hey. Full transparency, because I'm sure some of you saw that I reviewed the first Cars movie. That review was recorded a while back. You could tell because it's my old camera and my old microphone, which wasn't working very well. And I, when I watched Car 1, I thought it was fine, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh man, I can't wait to watch the sequels, which is why there is so much time in between me watching the sequel. But because that review did fairly well, viewers-wise, numbers-wise, I can't explain why. And also, I did a poll where I asked you guys if you wanted me to continue watching the sequels, and you said yes! So, I am here after seeing Cars 2. It's a 2011 film, and I don't think I liked this movie anywhere near as much as the first one, and that's saying a lot because, like I said, I just thought the first one was okay. This second one kind of feels like I wasted my time. I'm not going to say it's the worst thing ever. I'm not going to say that it's the worst animated movie I've ever seen or ever reviewed. It's certainly not flat out bad, but I didn't find things that I enjoyed. Like, I found myself a little irritated by a certain character in particular, and I don't think I was supposed to feel that way. Let's talk first about Owen Wilson as Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen was the main character of the first film, and it feels like the writers did not know what to do with this character this time around. They just felt like, oh, well, the first movie was about him, so we have to bring him back, but what is he doing? Oh, he's just going on to try to win more races. Like, there's not any development with him. I mean, he gets into a fight with Mater, but, like, who cares? Honestly, who cares about that? It's like, another thing that annoyed me about this is that his fight with Mater, Lightning McQueen has every reason to be upset and mad at Mater because of how annoying Mater can be, and more on that in a minute. But when he voices this to him, when he says, like, hey, you were screwing things up, you were distracting me, you were doing all these things, he's saying things that is reasonable and makes sense. In fact, if your friend is distracting you from your race or from any sporting event that you're doing and he's causing you to lose, you should be able to voice that with him. Was he upset when he said it? Sure, but again, he had reason to be. And because Mater gets upset, because Mater then leaves, Lightning McQueen feels bad and says, I shouldn't have said that? Like, what? Because he reacted that way? It's like, well, how else were you going to voice this? How else were you going to let him know that he was ruining things? I just don't understand what a kid's movie like this is trying to teach kids of, like, hey, if your friend annoys you, don't tell them because it might hurt their feelings, even though it might be better for the relationship, for the friendship, to sort of grow from things like that. No, just keep it to yourself and let your friend be annoying as hell. That reminds me, Mater is voiced by Larry the Cable Guy. I don't remember Mater being this annoying in the first movie. Maybe it's just because it's been a while. But this film, this sequel, holy crap, was Mater annoying. Like, just flat out, I was constantly rolling my eyes. I was constantly groaning. I was constantly just... I wanted his scenes to go by quicker than what they were. And he feels like he's more the main character this time around. Lightning McQueen is so much of a background. This is more about Mater getting not only roped into this spy, random-ass plot, but just being annoying and pushing people away and then being confused that he was annoying. Huh? Am I annoying? Even though I don't listen to people and even though I just talk and ramble on about things and even though I don't tell a secret agent that I'm not a secret agent myself and that I just allow them to rope me into this thing. Or, oh, I think that I'm dating this girl who I'm not clearly dating, but for some reason I think I'm dating her. This was all a waste of time. I'm sorry. I'm noticing that I'm turning this into a rant. Let's quickly get into the other actors and characters. John Turturro, for some reason, is playing Francesco, another car who Lightning McQueen is basically in competition the most with during the races. But because that's such a side plot, John Turturro, like, his character means nothing, didn't have to be here. I'm surprised they got such a named actor to voice a role like that because, again, inconsequential to anything going on. The animation, I guess I haven't mentioned that. You can clearly see the upgrade in animation from the first film to this one. It does look good animation-wise. I did like the animation when they went to other places like Tokyo, and like all of that looked great. The lighting and just the effects of it. That was all very good. I'm still very weird about this universe. I know the Cars movies, they were popular at a time. They made a lot of money, which is why they kept making sequels. But I just don't really understand the concept of it. I get that it's a world where cars have taken over. Like, I think they mentioned that humans were wiped out or whatever it is, but just seeing cars with mouths and tongues and eyeballs, it's like, how did these cars develop that? If they used to be just cars, if humans used to be a thing, how did these cars evolve to the point where now they have organs, or they have, like, their scenes where they're drinking at like bars, like they drink alcohol, they drink liquid? And I do remember in my review, I asked the question on how did they go to the bathroom? Like, none of this makes sense as far as the human anatomy being with cars. This movie actually addresses the whole bathroom thing. I guess instead of piss, it's, even though they drink liquid, so I don't know why that wouldn't translate to piss, but instead of piss, it's oil. They leak oil. That's how you know they have to pee. So you see a scene where Mater has to go to the bathroom. You see what a bathroom for cars look like and what a toilet seat would look like for cars and how that all works. So I guess somebody heard me and featured that, explained that. Okay, but this world, I can't really get into this world. I can't really get lost into this world. I don't really care about a world with just cars. I don't know. I think this would have been far more interesting if this was a little similar to Toy Story, where there were humans and that cars were functions for people, but they also did their own thing. Like, when maybe when humans park them and go inside the house, they go off in their own adventures. I don't know, I'm not saying that's a perfect idea, but I just feel like this whole concept is very weird. Probably more interesting if it was like a short film. Some of the other cast, you have Emily Mortimer as Haley Schiffwell. She's the one that Mater falls for, and the constant back and forth and the constant confusion. I'm just like, why aren't these characters talking to each other? I would say that this is a big problem with kids' movies, but this also happens in movies with just in general, where characters don't talk to each other. So Mater ends up getting roped into this whole spy thing. These characters are spies. Her character's a spy. Michael Caine's character is a spy. And you see they even have, especially Michael Caine, he even has action sequences where he does, and he almost is like a James Bond car character. And I'm like, the animation's fine and decent, I guess, if you want to see what cars doing action-y type scenes look like. But, okay, it felt so random. Bruce Campbell was here. That was cool. Tony Shalhoub. And Bonnie Hunt, who's barely back as Sally. I don't really know. At least she got a paycheck, I guess. Overall, I just didn't really care. You know, I'm not going to say the movie's terrible. I'm not going to say it's awful. I did not find myself loving this movie or engaged by the movie. And especially by the end of it, seeing Mater be a complete fool only to, at the end, be smart and figure everything out. I just call bullshit on all of that. Ugh. I'm sorry if you enjoy this film, if you love this movie, and if it sounds like I was just being a hater or being angry for the sake of it. I am being honest. I just was not into this film all that much. Let me know in the comments below if you have seen Cars 2. What do you think of it? Does Cars 3 get any better? Just let me know that. To give me a hint. Give me a preview if I even am going to watch Cars 3. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.